What up? My name is NomiS. I'm from Oceanside, California. I write poems and songs about things that I think are important and have value, and I am desperately passionate for social justice.
Hi, I'm Kara Tunkab. I'm a journalist and the editor-in-chief of the Tornado Islander Times. How did you get into songwriting and develop this interest?
I come from a really musical background. My mother's, she plays piano, she sings. My father was a full-time bass player for a good decade, probably. Played for the Temptations, Diana Ross, Natalie Cole. I've always kind of been around music, and that's been a normal part of my existence since my inception. And so I think it was just a matter of when, in terms of when I would start to get involved. And I was born in the 80s when hip-hop was still a baby, and so I kind of grew up with hip-hop hand in hand. Yeah, that's kind of what my age and culture are most associated with, and so I kind of latched to that pretty early on.
What do you stand for as an artist and social activist?
Yeah, I stand for a lot of things. Justice, equality, loving your neighbor as yourself, anything that has to do with fairness, right? And yeah, I guess like I said before, denouncing favoritism.
Can you tell us about one of your favorite songs and what you like most about it?
So one is a song called Traffic. It's special to me because I have a very unique kind of attachment and passion about the issue of human trafficking. And so in this song, I kind of wanted to find a unique way to discuss this and to bring awareness to it. And so I wrote this song that has two different verses of two different people who are in very different situations, but I'm using a lot of the same verbiage. Basically, eventually their stories kind of crossed in the end, and it was just like a really artsy way to address human trafficking. So you should definitely check it out. We got an incredible video that we shot. So, and then the second one would be my newest song, which we just released a single for, called Chapters. And I really like that song just because so much of my music, I'm quick to point out a lot of the problems in the world and to point out so much injustice that I see on this planet. This song, it mentions that, it addresses that, but it reminds you that this isn't how things have to stay, and that there's, like I say in the song, yeah, it's bad news, but I'm saying end of the tunnel is light in it. It can change, people can rewrite their story. And no matter what kind of trial or situation you or someone you know is in currently, that isn't the end of your story. There's always another chapter to write. What
has been the most significant moment in your musical career?
The most significant moment in my career is when I decided to be myself. When I create, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Do you have any pre-performance routines or rituals?
I do. So I have a series of mantras and things that I go over, both in my head and verbally out loud, backstage, before I perform anywhere, no matter where it's at. I pray, and so kind of those two things I circle back and forth through for a good, probably 10-20 minutes before I perform.
What has inspired you to speak about such a specific topic that not many other artists like to speak about?
Well, I'm just passionate about social justice in my life, and so I think it's important for my art to reflect my life. And I didn't always write songs that were about social justice, but I got to a point where I'm like, this is who I am as a person. Why would I not want to use my art as a tool to bring about change? Any artist, any person who's in front of people for a living, they have a platform. Whether they like it or not, it makes them a leader by default. And so I'm cut from the cloth of, if you have an opportunity to say something, you need to say something.
Are you ever nervous to put your material in the public eye because of the messages you send to the world?
No, I mean, I'm not nervous about the content. I think I've been doing it long enough where I've accepted that my approach, my journey, the road that I take doesn't end in being a rap star and being Kanye West. And I'm more than okay with that. My goal isn't to be Kanye West, right? My goal is to make great art that adds value to people and to the world, and to use my music as a tool to get people to think, to enlighten, to encourage. And as long as I'm doing those things, I'm pretty good.
What do you hope that people take from your artistic projections?
I want people to see the heart behind it. The music is really just a vehicle, right? The message is the meat, and it's the guts of it. It's the piece that sticks with you when you get out of the car and turn the music off, right? It's the piece that can can bring about change and that can open someone's mind to get them thinking about things they've never thought about before. I definitely put time into the artistic part, and I want people to appreciate and enjoy that, but ultimately I want them to walk away with the message.
What type of world do you want to create for your child through your music?
I would like to create a world that is accepting to different. I'm a black man and my wife is white, and my son is obviously a combination of the two. Before I had a son, even as a young man, I worried sometimes if I married outside of my race, if my child would experience an elevated level of conflict as a result of that, or if he would have any issues of identity as a result of that. And so I want to continue to open the dialogue and to make these things become more normal, so there's no question for him on his identity. Like, he doesn't feel like he has to choose a side. He can just understand that he is beautifully both, and that others around him can understand the same.
And finally, what advice do you have for social activists and artists of all ages?
I would say be authentically you, be intentional. There'll be a lot of obstacles, and don't give up when you face obstacles. See those moments as teachable moments for yourself to expand and to persevere, to teach you patience, because it's a hard road. Like, any journey that is about changing things is going to be difficult, because if things were as they ought to be, they wouldn't need to be changed, right? If something needs to be changed, that means the status quo is against you. The mass is against what you're pushing for, and that's not a fast turnaround. But patience is essential. Yeah, and thick skin. People are mean. So. Yeah.